Good evening, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode of Hightop Sports. I am your host for the evening, Shelton Walker, and today we're going to be discussing the offensive line. Now, I know a lot of us have been frustrated on the production on the transfer portal thus far, and I know more of you would like to see some guys come from the offensive line, as would I. That was obviously a massive question mark of the year last year, and we added two offensive tackles. But is it enough because of how many guys that we've lost? So I decided to do some digging, see where we were at the beginning of the year, this current year, or 2023, where we were with the transfer portal and guys leaving, and now where we're at with guys coming in with the recruiting class and the portal. And are we in better shape, worse shape? A lot of you are probably going to say worse shape because we feel like we probably took a step backwards, but it's kind of interesting when you break it down by the names and who's going where and what's happening with what. It's because Richie Leonard, he committed to FSU today, which really got my brain ticking. If you guys like this kind of content, I can break down other of the rooms as well. Linebacker room's a big one. Cornerback room doesn't seem complete yet, but look, I love this stuff. I love being dialed into it, and I think like the rest of us, we all want to know what the hell Billy's doing and if we're moving in the right direction. So here's what I did. I compiled a list, obviously first order of business here, and that list is showing you what the depth chart was as of week 13. So the last game of the season, this is how it was laid out. I think I may have got Najee Harris mixed up, but they're in the guard position. So after starter at left tackle, we had Austin Barber followed by Cam Waits. Then at left guard, we just lost Richie Leonard, followed by Najee Harris, true freshman who saw a lot of snaps this past year. One of only a few of the true freshmen we saw coming from IMG. And I'm a big fan of Najee Harris. He's like 6'3", 6'4". Richie Leonard's like 6'1", 6 foot. So Najee's a big boy, and we've had him on the show. Phenomenal young man. Love this kid to death. At center, Jake Slaughter just was far and beyond the best offensive tackle, especially on PFF. I think like a 77 score on PFF, I believe. I know Kingsley dealt with a lot of injuries, but even towards the back half of the year, it was Jake Slaughter's job and nobody else. So I'm really excited with Jake Slaughter getting another year under his belt. Then we go into right guard, Micah Mazuka. He is gone, okay, which you'll see here in just a minute, followed by Jalen Farmer at right guard. And then right tackle, we had Damian George with Lindo Hudson. Now, this is not me. This is not my prediction, what I think should happen. This is simply what the depth chart was at going into week 13. I know more guys maybe came stepped in, did some things, but this is how it was laid out for all of us to see. So let's take a look now where we were with guys entering into the portal. We know we lost Richie Leonard, went to FSU. Kingsley has headed to the draft. Micah Mazuka went over to Nebraska, so now he's went to Baylor, Florida, and Nebraska. This one kind of hurt me, I think, the most out of the offensive line. I felt like he did his job, right? And I don't feel like he was struggling, but I have reasons to believe why I think he is leaving, but we'll continue. But remember, we almost lost him at the beginning of the season due to an injury, but we were able to keep him. Followed by Jalen Farmer. He went to Kentucky, so that one definitely stings a little bit. Somebody who's been in the program for a couple of years now. Then Lindo Hudson, we got him from FIU, I believe, in the transfer portal last year. Very last minute. Had some, I would say, some important snaps towards the end of the year, but very quiet in the beginning of it. So he has also entered into the draft as he is out of eligibility. So where does that leave us? It looks very thin when you start to look at it like this. That's when the worry starts to kick in a little bit. And I was like, hey, I'm here with it, okay? I feel you, and we're on the same page. So I went and I decided to plug in who is coming in, all right, and what I think is going to happen. Now, this is where it gets a little more, I would say a free-for-all. You guys can kind of put who you think. There's probably a name that you might be thinking like, hey, I think this guy's going to be doing some great things, but we will see, okay? So Devin Manuel and Brandon Crenshaw, they're both tackles. How that plays out, I don't know. Okay, I just put them into tackle positions on what I feel. All right. Now Austin Barber, as you can see, I have him backing up Crenshaw. I don't think that he will. He may move to guard, and maybe these one of the other guys move to guard. But I'm playing it by position right now. That's what I'm saying. This thing's kind of a free for all. So let's start from the left side and we'll go over. So Devin Manuel from Arkansas. He was their highest tackle on their team with a 70+ rating. So we've already upgraded on the left tackle because Austin Barber was there with like a 67, 68. Now we're going up to 70, 71. Cam Waits at left tackle, a lot of experience there, backup. Left tackle looks healthy all of a sudden. Okay, and you remember, why is Austin moving? Austin Barber was a right tackle 2 years ago when Anthony was here. He moved over to left tackle due to lack of depth. So I'm assuming he's going to go back. Now, it could be flip-flopped. That was my reasoning for moving him over there, okay? Then we go to left guard, Najee Harris. This one is, look, we lose Richie Leonard, obviously with a lot of reps, a lot of experience, but Najee, like I said, made a lot of strides towards the end of the year, and I'm really excited to see what he's able to do. So that one, there's some concern, but big reason, big optimism, big upside on Najee Harris. So I love it. Again, big Najee Harris fan. Followed by Christian Williams. Now, this name was on the depth chart earlier, but he was on the depth chart for 2013 as the third string for left guard or right guard. I can't remember. I think I got him backed up. Dyslexic. Not kidding. Not really. Just kidding. He was committed to Louisiana, decommitted, then came. He was Billy Napier's very first commit when Billy Napier got hired. So he's been in the system for quite some time. A quiet name that maybe people not been hearing about, but I could see him picking up a role in some kind of guard position. So again, a lot of us are wondering, why haven't we got guards? They're trusting their guys in the house that we may have not seen, right? Davis said it. Yes, you can go and make some moves in the transfer portal, but it is still a lottery ticket. You might not know exactly what you're going to get. And also, too, to a note, Richie Leonard was the left guard. We played that clip a few videos ago. If you haven't seen it, go check it out, where his father hopped into his space and said, hey, the reason why Richie's leaving is because he's not getting paid to the same amount. And obviously today, some drama went down where Brandon Olson from Locked On Gators said he was arguably one of the best O-linemen. People got up in arms about it. Look, how I look at this, PFF-wise, he was not. It goes Slaughter, I think then Mazuka was next. I want to say Barber may have been higher or close. And then I won't even say Damian George was kind of up there too. And then Richie. So about third or fourth, according to PFF, where I believe why he's looking at it, this is me just what Brandon was seeing, is obviously Damian George had his struggles. We were constantly cussing Damian George out. That's number one. Austin Barber moved into a new position, dealt with injuries, struggled a little bit. So you hear a lot of negativity about those guys. Jake Slaughter struggled in the beginning, but I think ultimately we can all say he was probably the best offensive lineman. That's why he says arguably. Micah Mazuka had his ups and downs. Some days he was dialed in, some days he wasn't. So I could see why, because we didn't hear much of Richie Leonard's name. And sometimes it's better not to be heard than heard at all. And when you're an offensive lineman, when you don't hear about you is when you're doing great. And we didn't hear much about Richie Leonard. More so maybe because the rest of the line was so loud. So it's all how you want to look at it, how you want to perceive that. But that was my argument for that. Then we go move into the center position. Healthiest spot of the offensive line. We're getting some consistency there. Big Rod, somebody who was taking a lot of snaps early on when Kingsley was out. So hopefully I expect to see a lot from him. Big Rod was a 4-star offensive lineman that flipped from FSU just 2 years ago. So we sometimes forget about all these commits that, hey, there were some big guys that we went out there and got. We got to see them on the playing field. Again, youth, I understand, but that's my prediction for the center position. Now, let's move into right tackle. Damian George is still there. At some point, Damian George moved to right guard due to injuries and excelled tremendously. And obviously, we couldn't move him due to our lack of depth in tackle, so he had to play in a position that he was not suited for at all. But when this man moved into guard, some special things happened. So I am actually really genuinely excited about this, and I think this is how Richie Leonard gets pushed out here, because center's obviously locked, and then now we've got the guard positions. Damian George, I believe, will probably be a better guard option than Richie Leonard and Micah Mazuka, honestly, from what we saw. PFF score is not going to support that, just going off the eye test here. Again, Najee Harris, up and coming. Look, the line between Micah and Mazuka, this is what I'm assuming the conversation went like, between Richie, Micah, and Leonard are thin. And we're not going to pay, and we're not going to go after and be super hungry for you, because I'm excited about Najee Harris, and we've got some guys we think that are going to do a great job as well. These are my thoughts. I don't know. Followed by Bryce Lovett, 4-star, I think, or a 3-star commit just 2 years ago as well, I believe. So this one to me is a rotational position here. This was honestly the last person that I added to the list, because this could be Noel Potagancho, the German kid that we just got this year. Although his stars are super low, we've talked about him before, having a lot of experience over in Germany, playing against older men, playing professional ball in Germany. So it'll be interesting to see how that transitions. Maybe Austin Barber rotates in for a few, right? Maybe Cam Waits rotates in for a few. So that right guard position, that one's unknown. There's a lot of names you can kind of go pluck. Maybe there's a guy, a little dark, knight in there that they're able to pluck and he excels. I don't know. That's my thoughts. Then we go into right tackle, got Brandon Crenshaw, another 70+ PFF, which again is higher than any tackles that we had last year. So now all of a sudden we got the corners in the center dialed in. Okay, the pressure points are looking really good, especially that right guard. I love Damian George at the right guard. third year coming in. I love that. Like I love that. I might eat my words here, but I love that. And then Austin Barber backing up Brandon Crenshaw. Holy shit. Okay, maybe the depth isn't as bad, right? Because Austin Barber was, our guy last year, and he's going into his third year. Again, this is my assumption. This is my prediction. They might move these guys around a little bit differently, but all in all, let's just say we plug Barber into right guard or left guard. You got Devin Manuel, 3 years of experience in Arkansas and SEC talent. That's great. Love that. Got Austin Barber with a 70-plus PFF score. Then you got Austin Barber, right? Third year in this cycle as well, getting bigger and stronger with a new strength and conditioning program. Okay, love that. Jake Slaughter, we know what he's been doing. Okay, Damian George, I've said it enough this show. And then Brandon Crenshaw, I know we've been panicking, and I know we want more names, and I don't disagree with you, but we know how the Sunshine Gators like to pump a little smoke around here. Okay, I'm gonna get a little fired up about it. All right, so that's where I stand currently. With that, I think it's healthy. I do want to hear from you guys, though. I know, obviously, I have my perception about it. Maybe I'm crazy. Maybe I'm overlooking this damn thing. Maybe I'm not even close. But I would like one more. Don't get it twisted. I think we could definitely use some more. But there's also 3 or 4 guys coming in from this class. How much impact they're going to make, I don't know yet. There's also some guys last year that we didn't even see too much of. So who knows what their development's been like over this offseason or what will be over this offseason. I think one thing is for certain, we questioned the offensive line and what they're doing, but they seem to be pretty bought in and believe in it. I'm not saying it's the right thing, but they're sticking to their guns. So hope you guys enjoyed the little content. If you did, let me know. I know that you guys will regardless. Hopefully with some more insight, a little maybe settle the tummy a little bit. Maybe it did. Maybe it made it worse. Maybe seeing those names made it worse. Again, if you guys like this kind of thing, let me know. Genuinely, it took some time to put it together, but I'm a little bit of a nerd. I actually enjoyed doing it and getting to know the team better and be able to talk about it with a more educated mind. I really do enjoy it. So, and I'm fired up on coffee right now if you can't tell. But if you guys, again, smash the like button. We're almost at 20,000 subs, dude. Like, come on, let's get there. If you're not subbed, like, what are you even doing? Now, if you're watching this, I assume that you are because this is pretty granular stuff here. But I'll see you boys in the next one. Peace.